I totally ambushed Sarah with that record.
It's fine. I'm mid laugh. It seems like a great time to start.
Yeah, it is a great time to start. It's a great time to be alive. Am I right? Hi, welcome to Brain Candy Podcast, episode 907.
Yeah.
April is wrapping up.
Yeah, it's almost summer. I'm getting excited. I'm going to see Susie soon.
Sarah.
I'm so excited.
I'm fully prepared for this. We're officiating a gay wedding, also known as a wedding, this coming weekend. And I don't know why I have this feeling that it's going to be like one for the ages.
I agree.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I have this sense of probably because I'm in a mood, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to tear it up.
Yes. I love this.
And I just feel like shenanigans will be abounding.
And even though this is sort of business, I would put this more in the pleasure category.
Absolutely.
And it's been a while since we've had a trip that has not been business. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is going to be like fun times, good times, laugh a minute. Shenanigans.
A shenanigan extravaganza.
You're going to be meet my boo?
I mean, that's
my secret girlfriend?
I love it. I mean, here's what's fascinating to me. You know how I'm an online sleuth, so I would have figured out who your girlfriend was easily by now.
Yeah.
But I often wonder, are there other people that are like me that have already figured it out? And if so, DM me and tell me who you think it is, because that would be a hoot and holler. Because it's possible to figure out.
It is possible to figure out.
And I don't know why no one's doing it. But I love that you're attempting to have a secret girlfriend.
Yeah, I think it's going pretty. At least I'm keeping her to myself. It feels fun.
What happens if I hate her, though? Hate her guts.
Impossible. Impossible.
Really?
Okay, you try. I dare you. Go ahead. I'll wait. If you spend even a half an hour with her and you don't leave going, well,
what a gal.
I feel better. You know those people who just, you hang out with them and you just feel more joyful?
Yeah, I know, but you're forgetting the only criterion that I have, which is do they laugh at my jokes?
Absolutely. In fact, she laughs so much that I thought, well, she would be a good person to have as our third on here.
Oh, really?
Who's our backtrack for laughter.
Okay, for real?
For real, and a great laugh.
It's just anything or my jokes?
Your jokes and my jokes. Like I say, I love her so much. She's my best audience.
Okay, good. That's all
so
I
if she
require.
laughs at me, she's going to laugh at you.
Okay, well, I don't know, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm sure.
And I can't wait, because that's all it takes, pretty much.
I mean, gay and Jewish.
That's so true. You'd think it's a match made in heaven.
Hello.
Gay and Jewish. So. For real, lesbian Jew doesn't get much better.
Right?
I'm bringing a treat
Who
for
loves
her,
to dance?
A Jewish treat for her that I'm making.
She's going to love that. Oh, my God. That's so sweet.
For Passover.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to reunite. It's going to be hilarious.
So
I'm going to put some of the shenanigans on my close friends. You guys should.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, maybe for my close friends, I'll actually show you who she is.
Ooh, like a reveal? Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Hard launch, but only to close friends.
Close friends can be followed through our patreon.com/braincandy.
Yep.
Just pick I think it's called the Get Social tier.
Yes.
So go ahead and check that out. And we save them in highlights. So even if you miss something from previously, you can catch up.
Oh, and Susie's got all the behind the scenes footage of challenges in the past. And yeah, we've got good stuff
and the commentary.
And the commentary.
Cruel roasting. What I do behind closed doors.
Yeah. Oh, that's the good stuff.
Okay. So, yeah, we're good. We're going to see each other.
Yeah.
And that's that.
I don't know whether this is good news or what it is. Just a fun thing to talk about in news. kind of fits with the Patreon stuff, challenge stuff. Did you see Johnny Bananas on Pop the Balloon on
what
Netflix?
Nightmare. What a nightmare.
Oh my God.
Who is his publicist?
Who thought that was a good idea? And listen, everything he said was terrible, but let's just take the concept of having how old is he? 42? 43?
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
He's seated well, and he's like in his 40s. Middle-aged man. You are coming on a show with people who could literally be your children.
He's on a dating show as a middle-aged man who's never been married.
What? And it felt like
creepy uncle.
So creepy uncle, so bad. And it was every single part of it was cringy.
Cringe.
But it felt like, in a weird way, sweet, sweet revenge. And I had to do nothing. You know how I always say, like, karma is going to come around and I don't even have to do a thing. I'm just going to keep being me, and I'm just going to...
just let it play out.
Let it play. You know?
That's the thing about him. And
wow. He might actually... I'm going to go back. Sorry, I'm getting excited.
No,
I'm getting excited.
Go.
I reached out to MTV, and I was like, not MTV, Buna Murray, and I was like, I want to do another challenge.
Yeah.
I'm in. I want to do All Stars.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they would be smart to cast him on things after what we've seen.
For real, he is teetering.
I might be in a situation where I won't ever even have to go against Johnny or be with Johnny or see him on a show again because he's already dug himself a grave and buried himself.
Yeah, he is. Here's the dilemma. It's sort of like how, when you marry somebody, like when you first start dating, like, oh my God, they're so funny. And then it's like Chandler on Friends, where it's like, eventually it's like, joke. Right? So it's like that with Johnny. The very reason that he has escalated into this sort of reality TV legend category is going to be his undoing. He is inappropriate, uncensored, risk-taking, clearly dysfunctional.
Right.
And they keep casting him.
And when you can edit that out, it's one thing. But when
this
it's
was a live show. Explain what you saw and what you felt like was happening then.
Okay. So first and foremost,
this is fun,
the way he came out was absolutely insane. It was one of the... So when Johnny feels vulnerable, from what I've seen, he makes jokes. That's his way of defending himself.
Mechanism.
We know that.
Yeah.
So in this place, he was asked to be vulnerable. And it sounded like the host had talked to him about, like, what are you really looking for? They were looking for people to be earnest and people to, like,
take
it seriously, put themselves out there and talk about what they're interested in. And he made it a joke from the second he walked out on the screen. He took this palm tree prop, and hid behind it like a little boy.
Wow. And
instantly, pop, 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 a whole bunch of people popped theirs. Then he comes up on stage and doesn't say anything, just starts insulting people.
Exactly, because it can't be like him revealing who he is. He has to expose you and then cut you down.
Right, because if he's feeling vulnerable, if he's feeling embarrassed, rather than going to those places, getting in touch with that part of himself, he looks to make somebody else feel embarrassed and vulnerable so that he can maybe, relieve some of his own feelings.
Yeah.
And then deflect with humor. And then they tried to call him out for it. Oh, I'd say he, of course, made comments about their feet.
How people look, yeah.
Yes, and then made comments that were definitely rooted in racism. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't care. I'd say for the people I know and people I talk to, have never been accused of or have to explain themselves for emojis or explain themselves for things they've said on live TV. Never had to really do that. Mm-hmm. The fact that you've done that twice in less than 6 months,
mm-hmm.
and you want us to say,
statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a show with him. I know what he would say. I know the comments that he would say about Nani and about people who were, people of color or women or
immigrants,
LGBTQ plus community.
Sure.
And then it's like, oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. No. Well, all right. Guess what? We always say it as long as it's funny, and these are not funny.
And because of the context of this like creepy old reality washed up weirdo, like going on a dating show, it's like it adds a layer of like, what is this?
Right. Like it would be one thing if he were a 25-year-old guy going out and doing that. And it's like, okay, well, this guy needs some time to grow up and mature. Dude. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Why isn't anyone? Do you think at least now people will be like, okay, maybe we've wrung this sponge out enough?
I hope so. I hope people like recognize.
Yeah, let's move on
like,
from
what are we doing?
this
We
guy.
have jumped the shark. He is if jumping the shark were a person. And then like go into Coachella. I just like, you could not pay me to go to Coachella. Could not.
God, it's
there is not enough. I couldn't do that. And just, I don't know, maybe different strokes for different folks. But I can't imagine being in that situation where people are asking a certain thing of you, and that is what you give them, what he gave them on
That's all he's got, sister.
Yeah, well, the edits have been kind to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm saying that as somebody who is a victim of his.
Yeah, and his edits still suck.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what doesn't suck, and that is Relief Band. It's crushing it.
Absolutely. I have a friend who just had surgery. I'm like, Relief Band, I'm bringing it over right away.
But Relief Band is awesome because it is an anti-nausea freaking wristband. It sounds like Dr. Bombay voodoo crap, but it is not. It's science.
Right. Like electromagnetic pulses that are on pressure points in your wrist. It works like magic. It really does sound
it's 100% drug-free. Well, and Relief Band's been around so long, they just keep getting better and better and improving even more. They have a new Premier Plus model that provides that advanced nausea relief. It also includes a digital clock, and then it has this smart skin sensing technology so that the battery is preserved. It lasts longer. And I didn't think they could get better. Turns out they can, and they did, and they're amazing. But if you want to cure your nausea problem fast, join the hundreds of thousands of people who are nausea-free with Relief Band. Right now, we've got an exclusive offer just for Brain Candy listeners. If you go to reliefband.com and use promo code Brain Candy, you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping. So head to reliefband.com and use promo code Brain Candy for 20% off plus free shipping.
Yep. So yeah, of course I had to start with that, about talking a little bit about that insanity. Usually I don't talk about, challenge related stuff on here.
It's hard to watch people fail up though. You have like one thing after the next, and then they just keep getting more and more given to them.
And I am not somebody who's out here wanting people to fail. But what I do want is justice. People to be exposed for who they truly are.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting to see a little bit more of that now. And for that, I'm grateful.
Yeah. We're letting it play out.
Other thing I'm grateful for, oh my God, Susie! I watched the documentary. Where do I even start?
I don't want to say I told you so.
No, you told me. I'll say you told me so. You've never been more right about something that I should watch.
Sue's reviews.
And remember when we talked about this before, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be the type of person who would go after
treasure.
Change my mind. Absolutely think I could be the type of person that goes after treasure.
Sarah is an amateur treasure hunter now.
Yeah.
After watching Greed and Gold or Gold and Greed, I forget which order. I think it's Gold and Greed.
Gold and Greed. Sure.
On Netflix about the treasure hunt of Forrest Fenn. Millions of dollars in this chest hidden somewhere in the Rockies. It took 10 years or so, and that baby was found.
Yep.
Now they're telling the whole story. It is wild.
Every single part of it is good. Okay, so
yes,
just the idea of somebody hiding treasure is a fun story. But as Susie hinted at in the previous episode, the stories around the characters, the people who, not even real people who are characters, who went in search of this gold treasure is the real, like, good stuff in the documentary. Like, these are such interesting characters and so different. Everybody's reason for why they want to go after this treasure is very different.
That's kind of part of what I like about the idea of a treasure hunt, too, is that it is democratized. Like,
totally,
everybody has the same opportunity, more or less, to give it a whirl. And it doesn't matter if you're a PhD or a friggin' hillbilly or whatever. That treasure's there. Go find it.
Right.
That's fun.
Yeah. And you, like, listeners, please. You have to watch this. You cannot quit the documentary until you watch the last 3 minutes. If you do not stay, if you're like, oh yeah, I watched the first 2. Nope. You watch that 3rd episode.
It does keep, even just the story in general, there's a twist after twist after twist.
So many.
What were the parts of the film, though, that stuck with you? Because every part is so fun. There's all these characters and whatever, but
yeah, what stuck with me, so there's one family that's it's a dad and 2 brothers or 2 sons, and these guys are like the kind of people who I would expect to be digging up, like still mining for gold. Like, these guys are still panning for gold. Like, they would be the type who you'd hear, like, oh, there's this rare stone in this hills. And they would dig out the side of the mountain and spend probably more hours doing that and make less than they would if they actually spent that time, say, working a job that paid at $25 an hour or whatever.
Yeah. But what made them compelling? Well, no, go ahead. You tell
No, your part.
Well, just what made them compelling to me, apart from just the details and the insanity that they went to, that to anyone else would be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Because the guy that hid the treasure was explicit that this had to be somewhere that an 80-year-old man could get to reasonably. Yeah. So, like, a lot of their choices were like reading too much into things, and like they spent years of their life, literally years, trying to find something that there was no way it would be hidden in this spot and whatever like that. But apart from that, what made them so compelling to me was that there was a depth beneath it that was that the impetus for their search beyond the fun and the hope of treasure was a deep desire to care for their family.
Yes.
And to care for their sister who had Down syndrome and to make an easier life for their folks who they felt had sacrificed for them. That's a beautiful thing.
Right. They
Boy,
made me
did
emotional.
they fuck it up.
Right.
It made me emotional.
And I could see that where you see all these other people online coming up with these creative answers, and you think, like, if only we can just outsmart these people. So you try to think of what could these people have online not thought of.
Yeah.
And that leads you down a path. It's kind of like that, what is it? Occam's razor, like the simplest answer is usually the most correct. And they were so off that they were not even close. So, and you know, one of the other things that you mentioned in our previous episode, you said the clues that are listed in the poem are so general that they sound like they can apply to anywhere. And hearing the certainty to which people believed that they had found that spot was almost painful to watch, because you knew they can't all be right.
Yeah, they were like, it has to be here. And then the other people would say it had to be here.
And I'm sitting there watching going, well, all those sound great. Like, it's got to be in one of those spots. Oh, and it's so good. And then you think, could the family have done it? The guy's getting older. And then what happens to the family? That's another layer. Oh, my God. What happens to the family of the man who wrote the poem, who put out the treasure hunt, started this whole thing? This quest, or this challenge that he created, did not come without consequences for him and for his own family. And it brings out, like I said, sometimes some crazy people who want to go treasure hunting. And
I have a debate to do, but first I will talk about something we do not debate at all, which is our love for Cozy Earth.
Oh, nothing to debate here.
No. It's, what do you call it? Open and shut case.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The only thing to debate is how early is too early to get into my pajamas and crawl into bed.
Oh, and you're reminding me, when you talk about those jammies, how comfy, cozy, and super soft, buttery soft, as you always say, they are. They're so nice, and they would make such a great Mother's Day gift. Everybody would be psyched. It doesn't even have to be for your mother. Maybe you're celebrating a mother figure, a grandparent, a woman in your life who is a mom or wants to be a mom. This would be such a nice, cozy gift. Cozy Earth creates comfort that feels like home, because home feels like mom, and your mom deserves the best. Get 40% off with our code BRAINCANDY, BOGO. That's code BRAINCANDY, BOGO, at cozyearth.com. Okay, here's the debate I wanted to have with you.
Okay.
Do you think Forrest Fenn should have called off the search when people started kicking the bucket because they took risks?
I think he made a really good point. I don't think he should have, because I think you could say that the top of any mountain is like, a treasure, and there's nothing to prevent anybody from going anywhere in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, and I think that he said, you take on, like, you assume inherent risks when you go out into the woods like that. And if it's the same way to me, I mean, yeah, there's a treasure that comes with it, and that might, of course, motivate some people to go. But if you were an influencer, say, and you took amazing videos of this one beautiful spot in nature that was like hard to get to, and that motivated people to go to that spot in nature, and somebody died trying to get there, I wouldn't take down that, reel that's showing off this beautiful place in nature. And it's like, if you are going to go on that quest, you need to be prepared. You need to do things to prep yourself, because there were people who were very prepared for that. And I think the nature of camping and being outdoors and knowing where it was, I definitely don't think he should have called it off.
Yeah, right. Because in the end, it was in a spot that was accessible.
Yes.
And not treacherous or unsafe.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I mean,
there really is no accounting for how stupid a lot of people are.
Right. What do you think?
I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I did not think that he should call it off because some people are morons. Because that is
good. We're on the same page.
The way life is.
Right.
And why should the non-morons suffer? Because these bozos.
Right. Could you imagine if we used that logic? Then REI should sell none of its rock climbing stuff, because you can just go buy rock climbing stuff and go rock climbing. You could just go buy a fucking, squirrel suit and jump off a mountain. There's nothing. Yeah, if you're going to be an idiot and do that with no training, you're a dummy.
If it were me, if I had hidden the treasure, I probably would have ended it when my family was being threatened.
Absolutely. That would be the thing. But I wouldn't have ended it. I would have given more clues and made it easier.
Okay. Yeah.
I wouldn't have ended it. I'd been like, yeah, let's speed it up. Okay, here's your next clue. It's in this state.
But it's those fools who are mentally ill, some of them, who
really legitimately are. Yes.
Yeah, and they interpret the poem to mean, the prize is his granddaughter.
That was terrifying.
So I'm going to go find the prize.
Right.
Okay, that's not going to go away really when the treasure is found, but I guess it wouldn't be over when the hunt is done. I don't know if he called it off. All I know is that you're kind of asking for it.
I mean, yes.
People are so messed up.
But I feel like it's not even like you're asking for it. It's like when there are people who are mentally ill who are going to do things, that people who are disturbed, who are going to take things, like the more exposed you are, the more opportunity there is for that. I think about some celebrities and the like stalkers that they have. Like people, this happens all the time, really.
But anyway, I'm just saying that there are a lot of people who are like not operating with a full deck or think differently or whatever, and are dangerous sometimes.
Yeah.
And you make a treasure map and
you're inviting people who are going to not be in their right mind.
But are you going to look for the new treasure? Because now there's another one.
I think
she's on the hunt. She's on the hunt, people.
It would not be the worst idea to just review maybe what some other people already know. And if it happens to be thought to maybe be in an area near where I would go camping, I'm going to do a little...
Have you bought Justin Posey's book? Justin Posey was featured in the documentary. He left clues in the documentary for the treasure he has now hidden.
Yes.
And he has a book that came out at the end of March that he says is even more significant than the clues he put in the documentary. It's so good. Everybody should watch it.
You should definitely watch that. The other documentary I watched was the one Bad Influence on the
I didn't
child.
watch it. I couldn't do it. It disturbed me
You know
too
what?
much.
Don't. It's it feels really disturbing. It's very, very hard to watch. So Bad Influence is a Netflix documentary that talks about the kid influencer industry. or the kidfluencer industry, I guess. And it focuses on this one group called the Squad that was started around this young girl, Piper Raquel. And her mom became the manager of this group, or was like the one, running this group. And she ran it like a cult. It really turned into...
Why do you think she did that? Like, what was just money she wanted?
Money and control and power. And there was I think that she enjoyed like exploiting people, and she was a predator. I mean, there's video of her grabbing the face and making out with a 17-year-old boy during a live. The footage is very disturbing.
That is disturbing.
I'm surprised they even put that on there.
Yeah, me too.
That they showed it.
I don't think they would if it were a man and a girl.
I don't think they would either.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it might be because the kids who were in the Squad were all interviewed and featured. There were 11 children who ended up as part of a civil suit against her. And they were all interviewed in the documentary because this woman is still running a YouTube channel for kids.
What the fuck?
I know, it's insane.
How has that not been demonetized or something?
Well, it has. It's been demonetized, but she still gets sponsors. And it talks about, this was in another documentary watched. I can't remember what one it was, but it was along the same lines of like this theme. There is another website that's like OnlyFans. It's called like Brand Star, I think. That's where people can pay, and the people running, or like the hosts or whatever you want to call it, influencers, only have to be 13 years old.
It's like Cameo, but for kids.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But more like OnlyFans, because they're like posting pictures and...
That's sick, man.
It's really sick. And she's like taking pictures of her daughter in a bikini, and it's really, really disturbing. And you see the ways that this mom isolated people and manipulated the parents to, all the parents were saying, like, I can't believe, like, I would think, if I heard this story, I would think, how could that mother allow this to happen? And the parents like, she was so skilled at exploiting us and pitting people against each other and making them feel like this was the only option. They're hoping that this documentary gets out and that all the kids interviewed are saying, like, we hope that she sees this and knows that she is a victim. And they talk about how the person who's the biggest victim in all of this is Piper. It's so sad. She's still stuck in it. She's still,
Does Piper have a dad? Is this single mom
Single mom situation. And then mom has a boyfriend, but not husband, who is totally complicit in everything, who's like, has what is it called when the victim then like falls in love? Yes.
Yeah.
You can tell he's like, he's talking about the mom. He's like, she's the best. She's the best manager I've ever met. She just is like, you wouldn't even talk about any person.
Right.
In
it's
such
like
a way.
Deification of a human being.
And you're like, that doesn't sound good at all. And the documentary talks a lot about how many followers of kidfluencers are grown men and just how dangerous that is, and so how insane. I would never put my child online like that. No fucking way. I don't care how much money it makes. It's not worth it, because you are trading their childhood, their innocence, their everything.
Yeah.
You're putting a dollar amount on that, and fuck that.
Well, I'll tell you what helps me put a dollar amount on stuff, and that's Rocket Money.
Oh,
you really set me up. I
did. Yes.
I love Rocket Money with all my heart.
Yeah, I do too. I have just used Rocket Money because there was a subscription that it was just yearly, but I don't really need it anymore.
They sneak up on you.
And Rocket Money let me know about it. I canceled. I got an extra $200 back in my pocket.
Rocket Money will say, here's what's coming up.
Yep.
And then you can be like, oh, I don't need that anymore. And then you can cancel it or make them do it.
Yeah.
That's also a nice
feature.
Easy.
You just make them do it.
Easy.
They'll let you know if you're overpaying for any bills. They negotiated my phone bill down like $40 a month.
Great.
Yeah, that's real nice.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And it'll alert you too if like your subscription price goes up, because that happens a lot with like streaming stuff and whatever. Those things fluctuate or go up. They don't fluctuate, they just go up. Right. And so it keeps you in the know and it empowers you, and they do a lot of the dirty work for you. You don't have to do it all. It's a personal finance app. Helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They have over 5 million users, a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions.
Wow.
Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/braincandy today. That's rocketmoney.com/braincandy. rocketmoney.com/braincandy. It's free. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good one, but
do you
it's
think
a heavy
Piper
one.
has commented on this since it came out, or is she like pretending?
No,
like
she did the whole refuse to comment thing.
Wonder if,
Piper,
on her
the daughter.
channel.
Oh, and the saddest thing that you see is you watch the spark get sucked from her eyes. It really does feel like she's being exploited, and it looks like how you'd imagine somebody who's being like sex trafficked to look.
Wow.
It's really sad.
Wow. Because I remember when you and I interviewed EBs from Road Rules recently for our patreon.com/braincandy. And I keep thinking about how she said she's worked in production and as a cast member. So she sees both sides of it. And she was saying, like, like producers who find that perfect cast member, that perfect, like your special magical cast member, your unicorn, and that light that you saw in them, then when you produce them through like gross ways, like exploitation and the stuff that happens on reality all the time, not unusual at all.
Right.
You are dimming that light that you were attracted to in the first place.
Yes.
Like you are changing fundamentally that person forever. And that's what it sounds like you're describing.
Absolutely. That's what's happening here. And kids are so, we're vulnerable at 19, 20, 21, but you're really vulnerable at 11, 12, 13. And she was setting up situations for them. Like there was this, and it really paints a picture of just how popular these kid influencers are. Mm-hmm. I think it was 60 Minutes or CBS News or some nightly news show gets like 2.2 million views a night. This girl was getting 6.4 or something like that a day.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 times the views of the nighttime news, and you're a 13-year-old girl.
How old is she now?
I think probably, I want to say she might be under 18 because... I said that with a weird accent. Under 18. Under 18. But then it seemed like a lot of the other kids were over 18 because the way they were interviewed independently. It looked like they needed to consent to this. But it's really sad. I really, really hope that laws catch up to this entertainment world. And what's really sad is to watch people try to pass laws and legislation on this, and the people that they are explaining it to are 80-year-old lawmakers or people who are the ones deciding and voting on these bills or whatever. It's like explaining an iPad to a caveman. They don't even understand how a 13-year-old videotaping, what they're eating that day.
Well, but the problem too is, and this is the flip side of that legislation stuff, is that ignorance is exploited in the opposite way, because lawmakers in certain states are trying to pass laws that protect these child influencers, quote unquote, protect. But they aren't using language in the bill that specifies child influencer as like mommy blogger up here. And then she has these kids that she's like using as props or whatever, and they deserve to be protected and compensated.
Right.
And so, because they don't specify, then the bill includes 16-year-old, 17-year-old influencers who are doing it on their own, maybe calling out bullshit from other scary stuff, and are proper influencers on their own, not under their parents' guidance or anything. And now 85% of their money their parents can take if they want.
That's stupid too. Oh, shit.
And like certain lawmakers.
That's fucked up.
Certain lawmakers want to silence those kids, 16, 17-year-old kids that are like, hey, wait, this is sexist, this is racist, this is whatever, because they don't like that they are so influential to voters.
Oh, my gosh.
Potential voters, I should say.
Yes, that is another layer. Yeah.
Right? So, like, these bills have to specify who they want to protect and who they want to, because otherwise it's who they want to silence, too.
Yes. Oh, I hate that.
And who would have thought of that?
Not me. Not me.
That was
I hate that.
I learned that through the Substack of Taylor Lawrence, who's an amazing tech journalist who has gone independent. And so I subscribed to her Substack, and I was like, holy shit, I never would have thought of that. I never would have even thought to read the language in a bill to see if, like, who they mean when they say
what they've snuck in. That at first glance, you're like, yeah, totally.
Protect the kids. But it's like, but what kids? Who are we talking about here?
Right.
So it's so complicated.
Oh God. I do think that site where you can be 13 to, post.
That's bonky.
It's really like, tell me why that is why you'd need that, if not for grown men who want photos of little
disgusting
girls.
pervies.
It's fucking gross.
New York Times did an article about that, how like almost all the followers of like a lot of these little tweeny girls, influencers, are like gross dudes, old men.
Yeah, even if I don't care what they... Yeah, and you hear about one in the documentary that had a female name. I want to say the name was like Megan or Morgan or something like that, who would send all these gifts and would pose as like a girl online, like the emojis, everything, like their, icon or image,
slang,
whatever, would look like you'd assume this is a little girl, but it's not. And it's a grown-ass man, and the kids were talking about how Piper's mom would like make her talk on the phone to this guy.
Right. It's like pimps, man.
100%. That's what they're doing. So not cool with me. It's it's very hard to watch, but I think if you have kids, it's very important to watch. I think it's important to know what people are looking at, looking for online. And I would just be private in all my stuff if I had kids that were that age, if I wanted to post anything, if I ever did post anything. Then I'm like...
Yeah, I can see
you
why.
think, what's wrong? My child in a bathing suit, like that. Right. For you, that's not a thing. But you are not the people we were talking about who are using that.
Again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying about Forrest Fenn making this treasure map. We all imagine everybody is operating with the same sort of tool set that we have, same sensibility. And so then you're like, why would anyone go off the beaten track or go do this or that? But like a lot of people are operating with far fewer resources mentally, emotionally, financially, sexually.
Yeah.
And those people are like everywhere.
Dangerous, right.
Grody.
Right. And just it's just like we said with the Forrest Fenn thing. If you make yourself more accessible and more vulnerable, then there are things you open yourself up to. Mm-hmm. And there are consequences to doing that.
Yeah.
And to me, those consequences aren't worth any dollar amount,
Not when there's kids involved.
Not one little freaking bit. Mm-hmm. Not when there are kids involved. And the thing that I thought was really why I felt like this was about exploitation and power and her, the mom, like running this like a cult and wanting the control, is that the mom isn't, like, you don't see them flashy. It doesn't seem like she's flashy in like what she wears. She's not somebody you look at and
power.
Go, yeah, it doesn't seem like she's in like, oh, I got to keep doing this because, man, do I love how much money we're making.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like it. The power and control.
Yeah. And that's actually grosser to me.
It is. That shows you are really a like sociopath, like abuser. Mm-hmm. It's really gross. So
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got you. Okay, what else? I have a couple more things to say.
Okay, tell me.
This is very funny. There was a man in China who was hospitalized with a severe fungal lung infection. Can you guess what it was caused by?
Oh no. A severe stop laughing. Severe
fungal lung infection. What would you need to do in order?
Toes.
Oh, you're close.
Kissing vaginas?
No, that would not cause a lung infection, and definitely not kissing them. If that were the case, a lot of very satisfied partners would be walking around with a lung infection.
I don't know.
No, this was caused by years of sniffing his own dirty socks.
Stop!
I'm dead
serious.
Years. I mean, yeah. So
why?
the doctors.
Why would he do that?
It was not in the article, unfortunately.
They have to ask him.
I mean, I'm gonna guess his answer would be because he likes the smell.
Oh my God. You know what? You know what's grossing me out even more is that I know that if I smelled my socks, they wouldn't even smell.
Right.
So what was going on?
I think he somehow...
He probably never washed them.
Yeah, he said his habit... He did say that his habit was part of at least a nightly routine, but he just had no idea.
Tell me everything. I'm so mad.
So... he went in there with, a severe respiratory infection, lung infection, and was coughing a whole bunch and pain in his lungs. And the doctors discovered he had a fungus that came from, or that was triggered by inhaling spores that were growing in his socks. So you have to also assume that his socks are dirty enough to be growing spores. So then... if this is a habit of his nightly routine, he may be doing that thing where he takes off his socks, goes, yeah, they're okay for one more go. What?
I love this theory that he's just like seeing like, oh, good, I don't have to wash them again.
And also infecting himself with a dangerous fungus.
I'm not buying it because...
Well, you should. Socks were confirmed to contain the same strain found in his lungs.
I'm buying that.
Okay.
But, like, I don't think this is a situation of somebody being like...
oh, just like, a little... we're giving it the old
or whatever.
smell
test. I think he had a fetish and was like sniffing them like all the time.
Oh, God. When I imagine it like that.
I think, like, have you ever seen those guys that put panties like over their head and they have like the part right
here? Yeah.
In front of their nose and mouth. I think he's doing that with his own socks. That is so gross. Death penalty. And he didn't even hurt anybody but himself. Right. For real. Did he almost die?
I mean, I think he's going to be okay.
Well, did they tell him? I'm sure he knows.
I think they just gave him antibiotics or whatever you give whatever's for fungal infection. What do they call that?
Oh,
is it an antibiotic? There's something else. No. Antiviral,
I think it's antifungal.
Antifungal. They probably gave him some antifungal. But I don't know
about when the fungus is in your lungs, for Pete's sake. That is disgusting.
I bet it's like diflucan, like the same thing that's for a yeast infection. What is this stuff? There's like, you take a pill if you get like a bacterial infection in the old lady part. So I bet it's the same kind of pill that you take for that kind of, I guess that's bacterial, not fungal. Fungal might be something like that. Like,
yeah,
the old diflucan.
I'll tell you, you can just not
sniff socks.
You can just not sniff them.
Yeah, but what we're not focusing on is the fact that his socks were dirty enough to contain fungus growing. That, like, if you sniffed your socks and they were just clean socks,
that's different.
That's fine. But this is on his.
Spores.
There's a problem with his feet. Those shoes, he needs to wash he needs a new pair of shoes. He needs maybe some new socks.
This is always what happens. It gets
I'm spitting the facts here.
It always
this is just good sense.
Where Sarah's like, he needs new socks, he needs new shoes, but it's also the case, though, Sarah, that spores take time. Moldy food in your fridge, right? It takes time to make spores.
Right.
And that's what's happening in his
It might be time to get rid of the stuff.
I want to know everything about him. Is he married?
Oh, definitely not. Probably employed and probably has a job where he's working really, really late hours, or maybe he's like got two jobs as like some factory worker and he like can't even take his socks off and he's like, oh, gotta go to my next job.
Oh,
I don't know.
No way, Jose. Like there is no chance.
He's just like gross.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's gross.
Obviously.
And he has a fetish.
Okay.
About sock odor.
What's
it's an ambulance, sorry.
Oh, I never hear that in your neck of the woods.
God, right.
Interesting.
Huh. Right. It's not safe anymore. I am so mad.
Could you imagine, like, that sounds like something out of a doctor show when you watch like those, like The Pit or House or one of those.
Yes, like these extreme, like that doesn't happen.
This doesn't add up. We cleared him for this and this and this. It's got to be environmental. And then they go to his house. They send like the two the new residents to like the guy's house, and they're in the hazmat suit, and then they go, I think this could be it.
Yeah.
And then you find all of this like weird porn that's just sock sniffers.
Well,
and you're like, I think I know the answer.
That. It's funny you say that because as we were recording, my investigation in the Gene Hackman case has an update. And I am outraged because all this time I was reporting to other people that I can't figure out how Betsy got hantavirus because what you get from rats. Because in the New York Times, it reported that their house was immaculate.
Right.
Immaculate.
Okay.
According to TMZ.
Yeah.
The property was a perfect breeding ground for hantavirus because it was riddled with dead rodents.
What in the what? Well, that's rodents. A big piece of information we need.
and their nests were scattered across 8 detached outbuildings on the property. So, like, maybe their house was immaculate, but they got freaking...
Okay. The shed and the garden and the
buildings,
the guest house and all of those.
Betsy.
Okay. Oh, no.
I mean, now we know. I was stumped in my investigation.
Now we know. Just don't go. I told you, no crawl spaces.
No crawl spaces or detached buildings.
No, yeah. Don't go in there. Check your cottage.
Unless well, that's the thing. Like, we have these 2 cottages. You have to keep up with them all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Betsy.
You gotta. And okay.
Yeah, he had the money.
I was gonna say, you got Hackman money. Let's get you can pay for this. This is Exterminator.
This have Oscar winner money.
This is $75 a month. Max.
Get a groundskeeper, for Pete's sake.
To do a little exterminating of the rodents, to do a little checkity checkup. You don't even have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Pest control.
It almost feels like when you have 8 different guest houses, you should have like a property manager, a house estate manager or something like that who would handle this.
That's for sure.
This was, and I understand they were getting, but she wasn't getting old. She was 60 something. No way.
Wasn't.
My mom is building houses like house in Costa Rica and setting up barns and raising fucking horses. So, and she's older than that. So there's no excuse.
This was an accident waiting to happen.
Okay.
But it's
AWH.
Right.
AWH.
Exactly. And it's to your point that, like, sometimes we don't know. We don't know what's going on. Sniffing socks, sniffing rat poo.
Oh, jeez.
You got to be careful, okay?
It's wild out there. Stay safe. Oh,
you
man.
really did a lot of reporting today yourself.
Well,
this was all very, very
just the
good.
Facts, and a lot of my personal opinion about Johnny Bananas on Pop the Balloon.
I do want to say one last thing about golden greed, which I don't think it's greed. I really don't. Like,
yeah, I don't think it is either.
I get that that's alliterative, and so they wanted to say gold, so they had to say greed or whatever, but like, looking for treasure doesn't necessarily mean greedy.
I loved the pilot and his family.
Oh my God, so cute.
I mean, that guy was just like, I want an adventure for my family. And even though the teenage son looked like he was annoyed the whole time, he was the one doing a lot of the filming because often the footage is of mom, dad, and younger sister. So how bad of a time was he having if he's documenting it all?
Yeah, he just didn't want to be on camera.
Right. So I think Dad was doing a good job of bringing adventure to their family. I just loved the whole story. You have to watch it.
What did you think about his groupie, though?
Who was his groupie?
I think her name was Cynthia Meacham. Oh, my God.
You mean, I thought you meant the pilot's groupie. The Forrest. His groupie. Well, when you said, would you sleep with an old guy? Would I be, first of all, that guy? No chance, no way.
Bang him. What's wrong?
I would definitely not. Like,
what's wrong with him? He used to be a pilot.
No, I'm not. He
fought for our
he
country.
Looks like creepy old dude. Like, he just seems like he would be following a couple child influencers.
She is disparaging Forrest's
I'm not.
character.
I'm just saying that's what he looks like. I'm not saying that he did that. I'm just saying
just
that's
he's old. What's wrong with the way he looks?
There's like a look. There's like, maybe he reminds me too much of my dad. That is just
fair enough.
Like, that's too no.
You get bad vibes.
I get bad vibes, and but I loved her. I thought she was a cool chick. I thought that she was smart in how she made friends with them, and she like.
Please,
it's
a page out of my book.
She wasn't doing what I thought. She was more.
She was clever.
She was clever with it, and I think I liked her style.
Me
too. She was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and like her whole look, I was like, that's me in
her whole vibe. Because it's not just her look. Like
100%.
I was surprised that she was up for the deep dicking, if you know what I mean.
Me too. That's why I'm like, me too. Because Right. That's why you think I felt like she reminded me of me so much.
Me too. I was like,
oh,
okay,
this is an outdoorsy lesbian. She drives a Subaru.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I was like, okay, girl.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do to get that treasure.
Yeah. I thought she was going to get it.
Yeah. What if the treasure was the dicks we made along the way? Yeah. You know, sometimes it's about more than just the gold.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the adventure. And I think this next treasure hunt will be the same.
Good luck, Sarah.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
I do think it would be in the Rockies. I think that's where he would put it.
Well, you need to look at the clues and stop just guessing.
I know. What can I like just close my eyes and pick a spot on the map and just find it? I don't think so.
I just feel like, I guess I believe in you, and I think you actually could find it.
Suze. Well, you've got me set up. I got my Garmin for going outdoors and I won't get lost.
Safety first.
I got a rig that's similar to his.
Send me your coordinates.
Yeah. It's
all
great.
That.
Yeah.
Whenever Sarah goes to like a remote campground, I make her send her coordinates.
It's a smart thing to do. Well, what you are going to do is if I didn't come back and if you didn't hear from me in 48 hours or however long less, we've decided this less. It was like 12.
It was.
Yeah. You're like 48 hours. You're dead. No, it's like 12 hours. I remember this. But if you didn't hear from me, then you tell the
ring a ding ding 911.
Yeah, the cop that this is her last known location, and then they send the search team and they narrow it down.
Get
so that is important.
Going.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I know we got to go and everything. I'll talk about it on mine. Okay, we'll go.
Okay.
I love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Love you. See you on the next one. Bye.
Find yourself looking for a new job or change in career? Monster.com is here to help. We are not only here to bring you job postings, but also AI interview prep and salary tools, expert career advice, and top-notch resume services. We've got everything you need to land your perfect job fit. Discover the magic of finding the ideal job with Monster.com. Your future starts now. Visit Monster.com today. Your next job opportunity is just a click away.